So before me is this Thunder Tiger F-54S that I purchased, I don't know, probably over a month or so ago. I just tried to run it, and as you saw in the previous segment of this video, it didn't run very well. So when you buy a lot of used engines like I do, you're bound to come across a couple of duds. And by far, this is the biggest dud I've ever had. In the very first video I showed that when I was disassembling this for cleaning, I showed that this thing had a broken intake valve spring. So I tried looking around, finally found a spring that would work, and I just got lucky. I bought an OS FS52 spring, a single spring. I tried to buy two, and when they arrived, they said, oh, we only had one in stock. So this thing has a Thunder Tiger exhaust spring and an OS 52 intake spring. So as you saw in my video out there, I tried to run it. It didn't really run. It ran a little bit and then it just stopped and just completely lost compression. So I went out there, took my valve adjusting kit outside, took the cover off to adjust the valves. I'd already adjusted the valves prior to even putting it on there, but I figured, what the hell, it's about the only thing I can check outside just to see if it'll get running again. So I looked, the valves were out of spec again, even though I had just set them. So I'm adjusting the exhaust valve and everything goes well, then I start adjusting the intake valve, and all of a sudden I'm just turning and turning and turning and nothing's happening. Well, it's because the adjuster nut broke. As I was adjusting, trying to lock down the adjuster nut broke on the intake side. So, yet again, this engine is throwing me a curveball, and right now I'm just so pissed off that I'm more inclined to just throw this thing out in the freaking lake than I am anything. I am certainly not going to spend another dime on this engine, because I already bought two sets of valve springs trying to find one that would work, and now this. Now, I'm not saying Thunder Tiger engines are pieces of shit by any means, because they're not. They're fine engines. But this particular one I got is a really bum engine. And it's not because of a manufacturing defect or anything like that that I can think of. It's the fact that whoever the last person was that owned and operated this engine, and I stress operated this engine because I bought this engine from a friend who, I'm not sure where he got it, but he never did anything with it. I bought it from him, so he knew nothing about the engine. But obviously this thing went through something fairly catastrophic for both the intake valve to take, or intake valve spring to take a set and then break when I was disassembling it, and then now this. It didn't look like it had any evidence of being run lean or hard or what, but I don't know that you would see that anyway. All I can say for sure is that these are the things that have happened. When I was first disassembling it, I found the intake spring had a set in it, it was bent, and then I touched it and it broke. And now on the same side of the head, this adjustment nut just magically breaks. So, needless to say, I'm pretty disappointed right now. About all I can do is put this online and try and sell it as a parts engine and try and recoup at least some of the money I paid for it. It wasn't like this one was free or even inexpensive at all. I paid real money for this engine. So it is what it is. Sometimes when you're dealing in used engines, you get a bad one, and this is a bad one for me. I'm not saying Thunder Tiger engines are bad ones, but whatever the prior history of this engine was bad enough that now there's two catastrophic failures, and quite honestly, I don't even want to look at this frickin' thing anymore. Like I said, I'm more inclined at this moment just to throw it in the fucking pond. But I'm gonna try and calm down a little bit and actually list this thing, because there are plenty of serviceable parts on this engine still. But right now I just have a really bad taste in my mouth over this thing. So anybody that's looking for a used Thunder Tiger F-54S engine and just needs parts, contact me. Now this exhaust, I'm probably going to hang on to this exhaust because I've got several other engines that might can use that. So it's going to be engine less prop and less my brand new OSF glow plug. I'm not putting that in the deal. So anyway, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. This is a loss for me.